Hey everybody, let's take 5 minutes out of our day and play a game together. It's the time of the week for Guess Who, our game show where we highlight one of our members of Goodman Oaks by asking them some questions and seeing if you can guess who it is. So this week's contestant is this young man. I ask this person several questions. I ask, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? He had a good answer. He said, take pride in your work. And it started with his dad giving him that advice. And as he learned trades in his learning a trade growing up, he learned that from some other men who taught him some things. He has a history of working in industrial maintenance and mechanics. He worked keeping plants running and all sorts of things, tracing wires, and mostly building walk-in coolers and building the components to make walk-in coolers. So I asked him, what's your dream job then? He said the job he has now, which is retirement. Being on call as a grandfather and staying busy in his shop. So he has his dream job, but if there were his second tier dream job, or his lower tier dream job, I guess, he could be a woodwright in Old Williamsburg, Virginia. That sounds very fascinating. I asked him, what was your favorite food to eat as a child? He said steak and cannelloni. When he was a child, they would often order that at Grisanti's and other places they would go. Sounds like he had a pretty good childhood, I have to say. Who was your best friend in high school? He said an individual named Bryce Bibbins. I don't know Bryce, and I didn't ask him much about Bryce, but I love the name Bryce Bibbins. I'd be best friends with him. I asked this young man, did you get into a lot of trouble during high school? He said, quote, I didn't get into much trouble because I rarely got caught. When he did get caught, though, he learned his lesson. I asked him, did you ever go to church camp? What were some things you did that you weren't supposed to be doing? Now, I have to confess, this was not my question. Another member of Goodman Oaks, Lillian Williams, who knows this individual quite well, grew up with him, asked this question. A very pointed, specific question, wouldn't you say? What did you do at church camp that you weren't supposed to do? He says, yes, he went to church camps for several years. His most memorable activity was going one night, he and other boys in camp snuck out and went to a nearby watermelon patch. They stole some watermelons, brought them back to the shower house at camp, busted them in the shower house floor, and ate them. Which is really wrong on numerous levels, isn't it? Eating them in the bathhouse, pretty gross. But then again, I mean, camp is a week of grossness, let's just admit. But that's a fun memory, I have to admit. Now for some nostalgia. Do you ever smell a certain scent and it brings back memories of childhood? He said yes. There's a special perfume that when he smells it, it reminds him of his mother. I asked him, what sports do you like to play or what sports do you like to watch? He said he doesn't play any sports. He enjoys watching motorsports, and he says that he enjoys watching college football with his wife, whose name I will not mention. I don't want to spoil it, because she has a very unique name. There's only one of these in Goodman Oaks. He says she keeps up with the college football, and he supports her by watching college football. Man, what a woman, right? SEC, any team, she supports them all. I said, have you ever named one of your vehicles? And if so, what was the vehicle and what was its name? He said he hasn't really named one, but he has an old green 72 Chevy truck, and the tag says the Hulk. So I told him that counts. And I said, if you had to eat one meal every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? And he said he was ready for this answer. He said, I want steak with my mom's lasagna or cannelloni with my smoked pork on the side with coleslaw, green beans, hash brown casserole with hummingbird cake and chocolate eclair cake that his wife used to make. That's a good answer. That's a very good answer. I said, let's say there was a zombie apocalypse and you could only pick 3 members of Goodman Oaks to be on your team to fight the zombies. Who would you pick? And he replied by saying he doesn't know much about zombies. He said, can you shoot zombies? I said, let's say you can shoot zombies and they'll die. He says, in that case, Art Shumway, Morris Hawley, and Gary Patterson. Why? Okay. Well, I asked him the next question. What are 2 hobbies you have? He said, the first one, shooting guns with his buddies. So he's this individual, almost said his name, is ready for the zombie apocalypse. He also enjoys woodworking. I asked him why. He said he likes shooting guns because he's always liked guns and he enjoys the camaraderie, a little bit of competition. Plus, you don't have to be athletic to do it. You don't have to be an athlete to shoot guns. And he enjoys woodworking, and this is very special to him. He said, I love everything about woodworking, from the design to the art to taking an order and making people happy. It's just something I've learned how to do, and I enjoy it. I like making people happy. That's a good man. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? He said, easy and adult. He wanted to get out of childhood quickly and be on his own. Okay, and then I'll always ask our contestants something like, tell me some true but unusual facts about yourself. And he had some good answers. The first true but unusual fact about himself, he says, I always put my left shoe on first. I'm a creature of habit. He also said every time I have wearing his pants, he has a pocket knife in his pocket every time. And for the third one, he said he always puts his right shoe on after his left shoe, which is a good answer. All right, any guesses? Who might this individual be? It's a good one. It's a good one. Drum roll. It is Joe Rogers, husband of Dixie Rogers, and I appreciate Joe. I had a good talk with Joe. This was a lot of fun. So Joe, thank you for playing, and we'll see you guys next time when we play Guess Who again.